Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Tiffany Harris James, and I'm a little under the weather, so please forgive me if sound a little bit of nasally. Joined by Carlos Jones, and I'll be introducing him soon. If you're in, please go ahead and drop in the chat a few things you would like to know from this workshop. Let's just go ahead and dive right in, shall we? If you hear a lot of thundering and lightning in the background, that is because it is raining cats and dogs on my side of the town. But who this workshop is best suited for? It's suited for individuals that want to know how much their time is worth. It's suited for individuals that are contemplating hiring a virtual assistant or a consultant like Carlos here. So this is who this workshop is best suited for. So about me. I'm a proud veteran that served this country in both the United States Army and the Naval Reserve. I worked in a multitude of economic sectors, including aviation, construction management, information technology, and government. I'm really good at pivoting and changing and making decisions whenever needed, especially on my toes. And when I came to a point, a crossroad where I had to decide between a career and being a mom to my son, I decided to just create my own path. And that's when I found it working with Tiffany Virtual Assistants and more back in 2019. We incorporated in 2020. We're a team of administrative professionals that provide services in accounting, marketing, and operational support. And as a jack of all trades, I think it is a great thing every once in a while to go to an expert. So that's exactly what led me to Carlos. Carlos Jones established his firm in 2019. He had a huge passion for numbers, and he also received his Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration from the University of South Alabama. He furthered his knowledge at the University of Alabama, where he received his candidacy to be a CPA, and that was in 2018. Carlos is a QuickBooks Pro certified advisor, and he is also a board member of the Mobile Area Black Chamber of Commerce. So thank you so much, Carlos, for joining us. Our agenda today, we will review a few case studies. We will review the decision-making process. We will review opportunity costs, payroll determinations, and we'll have a scenario-based questions at the end. So our case study, before we jump into that, let me jump into this cup. And it's just really good ginger tea to help soothe my throat. So our case study, we're taking this from Mobile, Alabama. In Mobile, Alabama, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the median household income is $49,561. I don't know about you, and this data is being pulled from 2019 survey. I don't know about you, but that's not a lot of money, especially if you have children, especially if you're looking to retire. You need to think about different sources of income because you want to live a comfortable life. So, case study number 2, according to the United States Department of Agriculture, it takes about $233,610 to raise a child from birth to the age of 17. That's a lot of coins. And speaking from a parent of a 20-year-old, especially with, you know, being 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 a parent of a digital pioneer, they want to do things that make them happy. So they're not gung-ho on going to college, they're not gung-ho on sitting in the office, and they may be looking at you to foot the bill because they didn't ask to be here. So that 233,000 could rise very easily. Case study number 3. In the state of Alabama, according to the annuity expert, it takes about $65,000 to retire. So if you're looking at the 50-30-20 rule, you're like, how much do I have to put aside in order to retire comfortably? I think all of these case studies come into fact when considering exactly thinking about what your time is worth. And when you think about how much an hour of your time costs, you may decide to do different activities that actually generate income and don't take away from the ability for you to retire comfortably. A part of that, a part of you determining what my time is worth and what I'm going to devote myself to, we're going to use the decision-making process. And I was first introduced to the decision-making process in college. It helped me decide if I was going to do a lot of things, because sometimes I would feel guilty because I couldn't do it all. I'm not sure if you ever felt like that. Have you, Carlos? I'm sorry, you're on mute. Can't hear you.
Yes, definitely felt that way.
Especially being a business owner, right?
That's correct.
So it's like with you having so much responsibilities, including employees, it may become a time and a situation that you can't do things that you want to do, even with your family, right?
That's correct.
So this is where the decision-making process comes aboard. So first step you want to do is identify the decision. Then you want to gather information. Then you want to evaluate, select which options you can choose from. You want to take action for step 4. And step 5, you want to monitor the income. So let's say you wanted to hire a virtual assistant to help you grow your business, or even to bring in additional income ideas. And once your business is thriving and you're making all that additional money and you actually have to hire employees, you would need to reach out to Carlos, because that's one of his specialties, and he can assist you with payroll. So all of these decisions that you are making to help you get further along the process of living that comfortable life, this is what you would need to do in order to find out what your time is worth, so you can have exactly what you want. Excuse me. The opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the benefit that we give up in order to get the alternative return. So me and Carlos was just talking about that, about how sometimes you would not attend family events in order to get a particular outcome. Carlos, could you think of another example?
Nothing in particular, but really, sometimes, like you said, you want to do something that might take up your time, but you might be spending time with family or whatever, spending time with friends or going on vacation. But if it's something that's work related, that opportunity cost comes in play, because it could be, outweigh the temporary enjoyment for the long term success of your business or or career. So
I agree completely. And one of the things that, like, time you said that bounced in my head was my membership with the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce. Like, we're going to get into some scenario-based formulas a little bit later in the presentation, but having to make that membership payment, taking the time every month to go and fellowship with different individuals, I get different return on investment. So that opportunity cost can either be a gain or a loss. Now we're going to jump into the payroll determination presentation by the CWJ group, and I'm going to let Carlos take over.
all right, thank you, Tiffany. All right, guys, good morning. So I want to briefly go over a few payroll scenarios and how it can benefit your business. So first off, payroll is more than just your wages that you pay in employees, right? So I've comprised 5 different avenues or 5 different expenses that are associated with payroll. So first off, as an employer, you are responsible for Social Security and Medicare for your employees. Now, their percentage is 15.3% total. You split that between yourself and the employee. So you're responsible for 7.65% of those two categories. Next, we have your state unemployment tax. That typically ranges between 2.7% on average in Alabama. And also you have a federal unemployment tax. Now, the federal unemployment tax is 6% on the first 7,000 of total wages for the employees. Now, you have workers' compensation and you have employee benefits. Now, these two categories are really insurance products, and workers' compensation is really going to be comprised of salaries and your head count. Now, obviously, employee benefit is going to be comprised of like your medical, dental, vision insurance. Okay. So let's jump into a few illustrations regarding payroll. So, say for instance, you have an employee that you're going to pay $30,000 a year for, right? So, like I stated before, you have FICA taxes for Social Security and Medicare, which is going to be 7.65%. So you see the 6.2 and the 1.45 equals 7.65, right? So for Social Security, you have 1860, and Social Security that you have to pay. You have an additional 435, and also you have two separate unemployment insurance, which falls under payroll. So you have a 420 additional charge for federal and 900 for state. Also, if you want it workman's comp, which workman's comp isn't necessary until you have 5 employees in Alabama. It's not mandatory, but I put it in here just for illustration purposes. So that would give you an additional $3,651 on top of the $30,000 base salary. So that's something you could be looking for and potentially hiring an employee, that their total payroll cost is going to be way more than the $30,000. It's going to cost you another $3,651. So let's jump over to a scenario based off 70,000, right? So you will have $4,340 for Social Security, $1,015 for Medicare, $420 for unemployment, federal unemployment, $2,100 from state unemployment. It brings you a total of $7,959. So that's a substantial difference just from the base salary alone. Okay. So let's discuss a few areas that these payroll costs that we just learned about could possibly help your business. So first off, it can definitely affect your budget, right? It can definitely help you plan better for future growth, for hiring more employees, for making different decisions in your business. Also assisting in the hiring process. Since you know the total cost that it's going to take you to hire a new employee, you can kind of I guess spend more time on finding the right hiree, the right person. That way it won't cost you more money in the long run rehiring those people over again. Also, it can help you charge clients and customers. You can actually, since you know your total cost of payroll, you can add that into the bottom line and kind of give you a sense of how much money you need to charge your clients and customers for the services that you provide. And lastly, it's going to be strategic planning. This is probably one of the most important aspects of it. By using these costs to help you plan, you can better assess your business moving forward as well. This is all I have. I didn't want to take much of your time this Saturday morning, but for any questions regarding this topic, feel free.
Thank you so much, Carlos.
And also, this is my contact information: phone, email. You can find me on Facebook, also Instagram as well.
Awesome sauce. Okay, so if you give it back to me, I will switch back over to our scenario-based questions. Actually, before I jump right into that, could you please pull back up that screenshot of the illustrations? So all in all, what's the percentage that someone needs to calculate their salary taxes?
Percentage. So really, it's not really one percentage. All these are different percentages. It kind of depends on. So you have your FICA and Medicare. That's going to be 7.65. Then you have your unemployment. That's the first 6% on the first 7,000. In Alabama is another 2.7%. So those are your percentages. So you have 7.65 for FICA, 6% for on the first 7 for federal, and 2.7 on unemployment in Alabama. So those are percentages you need to look for when starting an employee off.
Gotcha. I hear so many people give a rough estimate. Thank you for sharing that. I give so many people sharing a rough estimate of putting 30% to the side, especially for self-employed entrepreneurs, off of the profit that they make. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, definitely. I would say 25%, 30% is a good estimate to put aside. And like I say, you can pay that every quarter as well.
Okay, but with employees, if they're trying to figure out what their time is worth, let's say they make $39 an hour. So $39 an hour plus 30%, what is that?
How many hours a week?
40.
That's roughly about $468 a week.
In taxes?
Mm-hmm.
You said $468?
Mhm.
Okay, 468 plus 39 comes out to 507. 507. Hmm. Okay, so we can roughly say that that's $42.25 that your time is worth.
Yeah, we can say that.
$42.25. The reason why I needed to know that information is that it's taking us to our scenario-based questions. So example number 1, if you're looking at a time investment, you want to look at the number of hours that it's going to require you to. What number did we just say, Carlos? I think it's my
42.50.
42.50. Thank you. If we're looking at the number of hours that it takes to either attend an event, let's just say, so going to the event is 2 hours, getting dressed for the event is another hour, so that's 3 hours, traveling to and from the event is another hour, 30 minutes each way, so we're up to 4 hours. So it's $170 that it would cost as an investment. That's how I decide if I'm actually going to take a part of something or not. I'm not sure how anybody else decides it, but that's how I decide if I'm going to show up at an event or if I'm going to support a cause. I look at what the investment would be for me. Now, Carlos, how long did it take you to go to school, get your degrees, not only learn this skill of being an accountant, but also execute it? How many hours would you say you put in?
Hours, countless hours. I really stopped keeping track of hours.
How many
Really
years?
years.
Yeah.
It took really to get to proficient. It takes about 2-3 years to actually get proficient and really, I guess, really confident in what you're doing.
Mhm.
Because you see a lot of different scenarios, different clients, different companies. So it takes a while to put all that stuff together and kind of get a baseline and get a good sense of what's going on, situation to situational. So I mean, it takes about that time.
Okay, so 36 months times 12-hour days, because as
Mhm.
employers and entrepreneurs, we don't have 8-hour days.
Yeah.
432 hours times that 4250, $18,360. That's not including the cost for your brick and mortar office space, your employees, your insurance, your filing with the state, your incorporation. That's just bottom line basics. $18,360. Now, you can actually pay that much money to go and learn what Carlos learned, or you can actually go and see Carlos at his location or give him a call and ask him about his payroll services. That's going to save you so much time. So instead of you taking all of those hours, excuse me, and trying to learn the skill yourself, instead of you putting all of that time in, by hiring a professional, you do not have to invest the $18,000 on that missed opportunity cost. You can actually grow your business faster by working with a professional like myself and Carlos. Our third example is starting a business. Now, your net income is your total revenue minus your total expenses. So I have a lot of people approach me about being a virtual assistant. And the first thing I tell them is, even if you're going to start off, and let me know if I'm wrong here, Carlos, even if you're going to start off as a sole proprietor by doing business as a DBA, go to the bank, open up a bank account so you can separate your expenses and your income, and you don't commingle your funds. Am I right, Carlos?
That's right. You definitely don't want to commingle funds. That can kind of make things really messy as far as business wise, and also getting ready for your taxes too as well. So.
Right. So when you do things like that, and you do decide to incorporate, you run the risk of piercing the corporate veil, which takes away your limited liability corporation protection. So you want to make sure that you keep your funds separate so you can actually see very easily what your net income is. So these were the goals of the workshop: to empower participants to determine what an hour of their time was worth, to demonstrate how working with a professional can save you time and money, and to empower participants to decide on hiring a professional or doing it yourself. After this presentation, you will receive a survey. Please complete it. That's going to help us deliver better content to you. And here is Carlos' contact information once more if you need to contact him. I know he's very active on Facebook because that's what I'm on. I'm on Instagram as well, but Facebook is my platform of choice. Here's his other means of contact: phone number, fax. He has a wonderful office in Sims. Here's my contact information. You guys know how to get in touch with me. And I just want to say thank you so much, Carlos, for joining us. I know that you have been on a tour of Alabama. I've been seeing you traveling everywhere. And I want to appreciate you for taking the time out to come and speak to our guests. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great Saturday. Stay dry.